Yeah, this is a video from the compendium. There are two parts in the compendium. There's an HMI system and a frequency converter on the end. This HMI panel is in here. Just we're not going to do this PLC program, not HMI programming, but a PLC, a black box sitting in a corner doing some obscure thing without no one knowing what's going on over there. It's pretty useless. It needs some interface to a human or an operator. So it's over here. The frequency converter is not going to, that's going to be dealt with, but it's in here because the frequency converter is a really important component in modern automation system, be it factory automation or process automation. At least you need to know a little about what it is. The HMI panels, the WinCC HMI panels, there are two types. I'm not just going to run through it fast. How to add it? There are two types. You have unified panels. It's the new technology, web technology. We have these, let's say, basic panels, or let's say, I think there's only unified in here. Comfort panel, I think the old one was called. The unified is, well, as of version 19 TI portal, you can use them probably for something sensible stuff. The bugs are pretty much out, and it's possible to configure them sensible. There's a lot of JavaScripting and stuff. You run into JavaScript right away. So here you need to be a programmer. Whatever. That's what it says. It's just has a controller. You can insert an HMI panel here. Doing so, you get a panel like this. You can network them, assign addresses to them, and they end up in your project. And they had screens. Here you have screens, tags, communication with your PLC. They are called tags, which is just basically a name for a memory cell in the PLC in a data block, because we don't use global memory, so we don't use that. And and whatever they are down here. So what you have to configure is a connection and so on. Is down here, and you can do that graphic with drag and drop. You have to drag it twice. First you have to drag it to say, okay, we are physically, there's a cable here, and then you have to select protocol and or connection type and drag once. We are going to talk this S7 connection, this semantic language, and it's going to end up something like this, and you should rename it maybe. So if it's communicating your PLC number 1 or whatever name you have for your PLC, maybe it's wise to say, okay, this connection is not connection 1, but it's my PLC 1. Here is the tags that you have to define, where you give names to variables in your PLC. And in TI portal, you can split the screen, so you can have the data you want to make tags for the HMI and drag them over to this tag table. So you have in data block, instance data block with some HMI information, and you can just drag it over to this one. It's pretty, that's kind of neat. The screens, what you can do, whatever, what you can do, create some navigation, jump subscreens. These panels, they offer templates where you can put buttons or maybe images to process sections you can use. You can do pretty much anything you want with a semantic HMI panel, but it's so expensive because it's so tedious. Let's say, after you have been working with these panels, you are going to be a Microsoft certified mouser, because there's clicks and but they are robust and you can't do much wrong and things like that. It's so tedious and expensive. But whatever. Here's one. Red colors is for false only. Never for anything with faults. Of course, we have an intersection here, and we need a red light for an intersection. But of course, you can see it's a fault because I can't pass. Navigate and so on. That was an example. The alarms, they have an alarm stuff where you can assign text to bits in a byte. There's also some functions that you can, let's say, transfer a byte, a collection of alarms, to the panel and display something. But an alarm is, the unit for an alarm is true, false. It's not a byte. It's a hassle to work on. But again, there's a lot of click and stuff like that. So but they have an alarm system. You can have recipes, text and graphics list. These are kind of nice. Text lists is said your automation device with PLC can't read. It doesn't know text, but it knows number. So we can say that 0 is okay, and at 1, then you display the text. This is a serious fault, and a 2, this is not a serious fault, and a 3, you can go home because false is not serious at all. And you have user administration. You have to log in and so on. So this is a little about what these panels, they are highly capable. But the thing is that the engineering is so tedious, and so if you have a complex process, no matter, they can handle complex and large processes. And they have templates you can make typical for a motor and stuff like that. But it is so expensive and time consuming to work with these panels. So maybe here, what you should do is that you should open up for OPC UA communication, this new type of communication, and get rid of an HMI, maybe a web-based HMI system that's made as an HMI system where you've got rapid application development possibilities and stuff like that. Because being a Microsoft certified mouse, that's not something you would want. Okay, but then again, that's the way it is. Yeah, a little about HMI panels. There are 2 types. There's comfort panels. The old ones, they've disappeared. Unified panels where you can do JavaScript programming, which is kind of nice because you can build virtually any functionality into the system like this. But then if your plant is growing, there's so much, it's a hassle working with these panels. But if you have a local operating panel somewhere where you have some buttons and some display and things like that, this is an option because it's integrated into your project. But if you run into larger HMI system, you should probably use OPC UA for communication and lay your hands on a standalone HMI system with powerful engineering tools, and inheritance and everything like that, and use that. And then use the semantic panels just for local operation. But what you can do too is this local operation outside in the plant area or something. Of course, these packages that you buy, these SCADA packages, they also offer panels where you can have a subset of your HMI shown locally with access control and so on. So that's just what it is. It's a lot of, that is this. You are a Microsoft certified mouse after you have worked with this stuff. Mouse operator with Microsoft certification.